What's in the Box episodes of horror with Donna and Eric. I'm Donna, and Eric is not with us this evening, but I do have Merrill David with us. Hello, Merrill. How are you?
Hey, how are you, Donna?
And who's your friend there?
This is Mr. Fack, Fat Ass Cat,
Nice.
FAC. Yes,
Fac.
he's a big.
Nice, nice. We're very pet friendly here on What's in the Box, so we enjoy pet, guest stars. So we're starting off our series of Texas AuthorCon and Book Festival interviews with the authors that will be there. And of course, we have the mastermind behind the whole thing, Merrill David. So are you getting excited? It's coming up in July.
Yeah, I mean, like you and I were just saying off camera. I mean, it's hard to believe that it's almost March already. So, yeah, I mean, it's before we know it, it's going to be. I mean, just we're going to be knocking on the door of summer, and then yeah, it'll be time again to do the author con. So yeah, I'm real excited. It's coming up quick.
Yeah, and I have the promo image we have for it. With that huge list of authors that will be in attendance. So this is crazy. Um,
And
now,
I've got the same thing on my screen right now. So you're right. I mean, there's a lot of people on that list.
yeah, yeah. So I wanted to ask you, this is the third um, Texas AuthorCon and Book Festival. Of course, the name has morphed since the first one. It was Texas AuthorCon. Now it's Texas AuthorCon and Book Festival. I believe you did that to be more inclusive to other genres. And to let attendees know that it's not just something for authors, right?
Exactly. So that was some of the feedback I got last year was that we had some people who I guess they were in the hotel at a different convention. They saw our banners out there and they're like, "Is this just for authors?" And we're like, "No, no, come on in. This is open to authors and readers." And so that's kind of where we came up with the idea that it sounds like maybe it's just inclusive only to authors. So let's add book festival to the name so that people realize that no, this is for everybody. This is for readers and authors to connect and to get to know each other. So that was part of the change. But you're also right. I mean, we are. I mean, I think initially we kind of intended this to be more of a horror book convention, and now we've morphed into something much larger than that. So no, we have I mean, we've got a ton of fiction, a ton of fantasy. We've got romance. We've got mystery, um, fantasy. Um,
We
we've
got
got
quite a
West,
few Western. I was going to say there's a lot more Western authors
yeah,
this year.
sci-fi, military. I mean, you name it. I mean, it's almost all. I was to say it's almost all fiction, but we've even got a couple authors that have children's books, and I think we have at least one, maybe two Christian authors as well. So, I mean, we got just about everything covered.
Nice, nice. That's great. So with let's compare last year's because the first year it was very small. It was only 14 of you.
Right.
So let's compare last year when I asked this question. Since it's grown so much with the amount of authors, is it more difficult arranging it this year for this year's than it was last year? Or do you think you've gotten the hang of it now and you kind of are, okay with?
So it's both. So it's easier. It was so much easier in getting everybody interested in wanting a table. I mean, we sold this thing out quick, and so actually I've got a waiting list now. So
Mhm.
obviously did something right last year. I think word is starting to get out that this is a good event and people want to be a part of it. So that part was easier. Now the harder part is that we are looking at bringing in for the first time some VIP guests, and so we haven't announced it yet, but I don't know when you're going to broadcast this thing, but probably by the time you broadcast this, it'll be official. But we are looking at first of all, we're going to have Ronald Malfi here, which is
Mhm.
awesome. Which he's a very big name. And then on top of that, we're about to announce it any day now that Joe Lansdale is going to be at our event as well.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, it is amazing. So with that, it brings on some additional new chores and responsibilities for me that I didn't have in the past. So trying to get with his camp and try to get to where we have him happy and we can make all the arrangements for him, because obviously uh, he's coming to our show and he doesn't go to many shows, so we're going to make sure that he's happy with all the arrangements, and so we want him to come back again next year. So we're going to get this right. So to answer your question, it's both. It's easier and it's more difficult.
Yeah. Okay. Note to self: read a Joe Lansdale book before this. um,
And at least one, but I bet once you read that first one, I bet you'll be reading more than just
yeah,
the one.
yeah, I've definitely. I mean, I've heard the name, but I just haven't read anything by
They
him.
they basically he's known around these parts as the Stephen King of Texas. So I mean, he's a big deal. He's a very big deal, and he doesn't write just horror. He writes a little bit of everything. From I've seen, it looks like he writes mystery, western, and horror. And there's some other stuff out there. Those are the ones that I know of. But he sounds like he's pretty much, and he's his work has transformed into film. So he's pretty much done. I don't know if he's done it all, but if you, I would say close to it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so it's very exciting to see all the new names as well as the names of people that I met, last year and prior to last year that I had known um, before even coming there, like Candace
Right.
and Mike and Eric, of course, and Roland, of course, Roland.
Be there. We got Rebecca Rowland. I mean, we've got
Yeah,
some really talented folks. Jay Bauer is coming back again
yeah.
from where's he in? Is he in Illinois or Iowa? He's up north some.
Illinois, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
Illinois.
yeah, I think so. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a great event with some really big name people.
Yeah. Um, so I also have on here a little thing I put together of just two things. So, of course, last year you had Head Blown as the Texas AuthorCon book. Um,
Right.
and now this year we have Texas AuthorCon's Head Blown 2. I love that cover. It's really great. I'm like, I don't know really what's going on with that image, but it's terrifying.
I I love it. So Adrian Medina, Fabled Beast Productions, did both covers. So I mean, I really liked the head blown cover a lot. But when I saw that one, I mean, yeah, basically the top of this dude's head is coming off, and you can see brain, and then you got tentacles below. I mean, I'm with you. I love that cover.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. So what was the again, this is a second head blown. So what was kind of like the impetus behind trying to, getting this book together? Is it just to showcase authors that will be there? Or I know some of the authors in it aren't going to be there, like Jason Nickey isn't going to be there this year. Um, or is
There's
it,
a couple. Oh, I'm
go
sorry. Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, there's a couple stories in the book from people who are not going to be at the event. I mean, there's a couple that they're even in the UK, so if, they're not even close to
Mm,
come. But and then Duncan Ralston, he did the forward for us in the book. He was at the event last year, so he was kind enough to do the forward for us in this book. But really, the idea behind the book is it's almost everybody who contributed a story is going to be at the event. So I found that the cool thing is like people, our readers and guests can come to the event. Either they could have bought the book ahead of time, or they can buy it when they show up. But then, like last year, we had like 14 of the contributors were actually at the event, so people could buy the book and then they could go around. It was kind of like a treasure hunt. They could go
mm,
around and find all the authors that were in the book and get their signatures, so they could leave the place with like 14 different signatures in their head blown book. So this year, I think it's about the same. I think we got 12 or 13. I think authors who contributed to Head Blown 2 who are actually going to be there at the event, and you're one of them. So
yeah.
you and so I think it's a fun thing for everybody. I think it's a good way for readers to meet the people that that they they have already set out, knowing that they want to, but it's also a good way for them to discover new authors as well.
Right. And it's a great icebreaker too, because some people are like a little shy about, oh, I can't approach this author and talk to them, But if there's this book that you could buy, and then walk up to the table and say, hey, I have this, can you sign it for me? It's a great way for people who may not be as outgoing and, to just approach an author because everybody thinks authors are, some people get starstruck, from authors, even if it's just, I'm not going to say just Jason Nicky, but he's an indie author, and somebody who may really love his work may just be starstruck by seeing him and not want to just, roll up to his table and start talking.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It is a great icebreaker and gives you reason. And all the authors were so gracious. I mean, when someone did come up with a book, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to sign that thing for you." And then next thing you know, the readers are asking the authors about some of their work. So it works out well for everybody.
Yeah. And now Blood Come is a recent release of yours, I believe.
Uh,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Now, is this only on Godlist or will it be available on Amazon as well?
So that came out January 18th, only on Godless. It's just a single short story.
Okay.
Uh, Splatterpunk, almost to the extreme levels, but it's kind of filthy. But anyways, it's just a single standalone story. So before the event in July, I'm coming out with my own short story book. It's going to be called Appendage, and that's going to have 8 of my short stories in it. And Blood Come will be one of those 8 in that book. So that'll be on Amazon, but I'll also have it at the show as well. But up until that point, for now, it's only on Godless.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like when authors do that. They will release like a short on Godless and then later on put out a collection that has that because um, it's just nice to be able to read something that's a short and not because I know some authors do put their shorts on Amazon and it's kind of like I don't really want to pay for something that's 20 pages or whatever that
Yeah,
whatever you're
yeah,
paying for. I mean, even though you're paying for it on Godless, it's always less expensive on Godless usually than it is on Amazon.
yeah.
Um,
You're exactly right. This was my first time to. I mean, I've been checking out the Godless site for a while. This is my first work that I put on Godless, and I already noticed just from putting that one story out that I've gotten a lot of exposure to people that I normally wouldn't have been picked up on by through Amazon. I mean, it's a completely different. The people who aren't Godless, I mean, most of those readers are they're all about the horror, and I don't know. I think that's mostly where they shop for the horror. I don't know if they really go to Amazon nearly as much. So
yeah.
I a way to be exposed to new folks, and it was a great experience for me.
Yeah, Drew Stepek is a amazing human being. What he's doing for the extreme horror, and it's not just extreme horror that's on Godless either. So if you're not
Right.
familiar with Godless, it's not that. That's I think the way it started, but it's kind of morphed, like
Yeah.
most things do.
Yeah.
But he's an amazing person. He's really helpful. I know he's helped me in the past. Like, you know, he had no problems, helping me out, and so maybe we should try to get him to next year's Texas
That,
HauthorCon.
I know he's in LA, but I agree with you. I mean, I didn't know Drew that well until just recently, and I mean, like you said, he's very helpful, especially to the indie authors, because he's even putting out these instructional videos now for
Mm-hmm.
free, where
Yep.
people can get off the video. Sorry about that, and my dog's freaking out. They can jump there, and he's teaching them how to self-publish, how to do the EPUB, how to do, I mean, all sorts of things, and he's doing this for free as a service. So he doesn't have to do that, but he is. So he's all about helping the indie authors, and yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah. And if you're interested in Drew, he is also an author. He has a couple of books out, Knuckle Supper and Knuckleballed. Um, so you could check that out as well. So yeah, so tell me a little bit about what do you expect to get from Texas AuthorCon and Book Festival? What is the one thing you're most excited about?
I tell you what, I love like you said, I mean, just as much as sometimes it's cool for readers to meet an author that they know about and they're excited to meet. I think you'll probably say the exact same thing as I will, but it's exciting to me to meet somebody who's excited to meet me. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? I
yeah.
mean, I really are more excited when someone comes up and they're excited to see me, and I'm like, really? You're excited to meet me? So I kind of a thrill. I mean, it's like, really? So it's just really cool to get to meet people and to get to interact with people, and but not only that, the getting to meet other authors as an author myself, and you, and then to meet other authors and to kind of, and next thing you know, you're collaborating with these people. You're communicating with these people because you generate friendships and bonds, and that stuff's invaluable. I mean, as authors, I've found I've gotten so much help from some of these people that I met through our con. So it's a great way to meet people and to collaborate. But the exposure with the readers, I mean, all of that stuff combined, I mean, it's just a great overall experience.
Yeah. Now, I know last year you had your table set up right by the entrance. And so you were always busy. And I know it's because you're the organizer and you wanted to make things run smoothly and you had the gift bags that were given out. Um, so are you going to do that again this year? Because I think you need a break.
What I need volunteers. So I figured it out real quick last year. You're right. I need a lot more volunteers. So we're going to be posting that. We're going to have a sign up sheet where people can sign up and volunteer for help to help. I've got a couple already lined up, but I could use some more. But I think it's great for them because they get a chance to meet all these authors and they get to be here and interact with the authors and get some free merch and stuff as well. So it's kind of cool for them. I think the volunteers that did have last year had a really good time because I've already heard from a couple of them saying, "Yeah, I'm definitely going to go back again next year." So, but yeah, I'm going to make it a little bit easier this year. We're still going to have merch available at the not the gift bags. I think this time we're going to kind of have the merch kind of laid out, so where when you walk up on the table, if you see something that you like and it's there, you can grab it. I mean, I'll still have the bags to where people can get the bags if you want to, purchase books. You'll have the bag to fill up, but there'll be merch available, and then we're gonna have. I think instead of the door prizes like we had last year, we're gonna have a prize wheel. So everybody who comes up, and if you've gotten your free tickets in advance on eventbrite.com, then we'll give you a spin on the prize wheel, and wherever the magic wheel lands, and we'll give you anything from a pencil or a sticker to we're gonna have some signed books as well as prizes. So, but it's still gonna be fun. A lot of free fun stuff, and yeah, it should be a really good time for everybody.
Nice, nice. And last year you had, I think one of the other authors organized it, wasn't it? Collecting books for military, either veterans or.
Yeah, and that was Chris Mullen, and I believe he's doing that again this year. I know he's still doing the charity, so I'm sure he's going to be doing that again this year. That was a great cause where he collected all these books for charity and donated them to our servicemen and women. And recently he posted some pictures of some of the not the veterans, but the actual military people receiving their books,
Oh,
and
great.
yeah, it was just a really cool thing. So I think he'll be doing that again. So that's an awesome cause, and I think he's the one who came up with that whole initiative. So that's a great thing.
That's great. Now, can people who are attending purchase a book from an author and have them just like sign it to a service person, and then put it in the donation box?
Yeah, I'm sure they can. I mean, we had a ton of authors donate books, but I'm sure that we probably had several readers do that as well. Purchase books and put them in that box for the cause. So I bet that did happen as well.
Right. Now, in the setup of, this year's event, have you had people helping you? I know last year you had gotten some help from Eric Butler. I don't want to say, did you have a staff to help you out? And I know um, I was having a conversation with Chris Miller, and he said he was trying to help out with something. I think it was the panel thing or something of that nature. So, do you have anybody that you'd like to mention that helps you out through this process?
Yeah, so and I'm glad you mentioned the panels because I almost completely forgot about that. But yeah, Chris has been a great help when it comes to the panels and the workshops. I'll talk a little bit more about those here in a minute. Stephanie Dos Santos has helped
Mm.
me greatly with those with the workshops and the panels, trying to get those organized. Kristen Vincent's been helping me a lot. She's working on this is going to be the first year where we have the all the authors will have their ID, like a name and the what do you call the
Lanyard.
lanyards and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So in the IDs and all that stuff. So she's been a great help with that. And then Michelle, we were talking about her earlier. How do you pronounce her
Bergen.
last name?
Bergen, I
Berg.
think.
Yes, she's awesome. She's been tearing it up on our TikTok page because I am a complete moron TikTok and social media and all that stuff. So luckily she's awesome at it. So she's been making some videos. I saw where she made one for you. She's made one for me, and then some for the whole event overall. But she's tearing it up. She's been a great asset.
Yeah,
Um,
Stephanie Dos Santos video she made was absolutely stunning. And I think it's partly to do with Stephanie's covers for her books because those covers are really stunning.
yeah,
But yeah, I really liked Stephanie's video. It was very eye-catching and
yeah. Hey, can we talk real quick? Like you, I appreciate you bringing up the panels. So I wanted to talk a little bit about those. And so, because earlier you asking if this event is easier or more difficult than last year's. And so this year we have, I mean, we had panels last year, but not nearly as many as we have lined up for this year. So this year, kind of what we're doing is we figured Friday night would be kind of more of our workshop night. So this is kind of aimed more at authors or prospective authors, people who may be interested in self-publishing for the first time and they really are clueless as to how to do that. This is your opportunity to come and get some knowledge. So we've got, and I don't have the times lined up yet, but we're going to be having workshops to include an indie quick start guide. We've got one on how to write romance, one on adapting from books to script or film, and then another one where we talk about where do ideas come from. So those are our workshops, and then Saturday um, we have panels to include a teen urban fiction panel, poetry, fantasy and folklore, thrillers, we got a couple different horror panels, sci-fi. We've got a western. We've got a romance, and then one that Chantel is doing. The Devil Made Me Do It. It's about evil spirits and possession. So we've got a lot of good panels and workshops lined up throughout the 2 day event. So, and like I said, Joe Lansdale is probably going to have at least an hour or two each night, Friday and then again on Saturday. So if you want to get a chance to see him, I think he'll be in our panel room both days. So I don't have the times yet, but so a lot of good stuff will be happening in that little sectioned off room there, separate from where all the tables are going on. So everything will be going on at the same time. All the authors will be at their tables. In the meanwhile, we're gonna have that small room sectioned off where we'll be having the panels and the workshops and all that stuff. So
yeah, nice. So if you go to a table and there's no author there, they're probably on a panel. So check the schedule and you can find out when they'll be back. Now, are you going to be on any panels or are you just kind of,
no, and I think you're an introvert just like me and Eric. I believe I think last year we talked about the three of us would be hiding in a corner somewhere.
hmm,
And what do
yeah,
we call it? Introvert panel? I can't remember, something like that. But yeah,
yeah.
no, I won't be on those. But I'm glad that people do enjoy those. I really don't. So yeah.
Yeah, I was on the poetry one last year, so it
Oh,
was
I,
yeah, it was kind of like luckily I had Mike Annenbach sitting next to me, so I was, he's a very much an introvert, so
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it was kind of funny. But yeah, I didn't
No,
sign up for any this year, so um, but that's
yeah,
okay. That's all
yeah.
right. Yeah. So it's a new location.
It's a new location. It's literally 5 minutes away from probably where the last one was. So last year we were at the Renaissance Hotel. This year we're at the Hilton, which is just so the other. I don't know if people are familiar with Richardson, but Richardson is a suburb just north of Dallas. So when we say that we're in Dallas, we're literally 5 minutes from Dallas, but it is in the city of Richardson. The Renaissance was about 5 minutes further up Central Expressway than where this hotel is. The Hilton is at 75 Central Expressway at Campbell, which is the one exit before where the other one was. So it's the Hilton Hotel. It's really nice hotel. They've completely redone the inside not that long ago. This one, and that was a little bit of the feedback that I got from last year's event was the interior of the Renaissance was really nice, but some people weren't super happy with. There was a parking garage, and so that was kind of a pain in the butt dealing with that. And then there was no grassy area, and really weren't a whole lot of outdoor hangout areas.
Hmm.
And so this place has got like an outdoor pool. It's got like a nice area where you can hang out outside. It's got grass and it's got an actual big, huge parking lot where you don't have to mess with the garage and all that stuff. So they're just little things, but to smokers and stuff, it's nice to be able to for them to have a place to go outside and just chill and hang outside and
Hmm.
108 like it was last year or
I was
whatever.
gonna
But
say, who would want to? It was 110 degrees every day last year.
it was hot last year. So, but anyways, yeah, it's a slightly different location, but it's gonna be nice. I think me and Eric went together to scope it out back in August or whatever last year, and we both were really happy with the location. So I've been to that hotel before, and they've renovated it since I've been there, and it's really nice. So I think people will be happy with the location.
Nice. That's good. Yeah, it should be. Last year was a blast, so I'm sure this year will be the same. As long as there's no a cappella singers.
Yeah, ask that question. I should probably find out who's going to be in the same hotel with us as last year, but I guess it could have been worse, but it could have been better also. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes, exactly.
had a lot of them stopping outside the doors, kind of wondering what was going on inside. I think, but it was interesting.
Yeah, it was so definitely a clash because you had all these women in their tiaras and they were either like PTO moms or young college women or like elderly women, all where, and they just look like your typical Stepford family wife, families. And then you had the authors.
Yeah,
So that was pretty funny.
interesting mix. But I know some of them actually came in and had a good time inside the event, but there were some that were like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I didn't see on the list is Alex Aronson is going this year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Because I met him and his wife last year, and they're super nice people. Super nice people.
Yeah, he writes like military.
Military, yeah.
I think he actually calls it war porn, is what he calls it.
That's
But
exactly what he calls it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He
so
calls it war porn.
yeah, and so I think he actually, and I can't remember who they were, but I think he actually recruited a couple of his buddies that also write military, and I can't remember who they are. So I think last year he might have been the only guy that we had that was kind of a military author. I think we've got two or three this year,
Yeah.
and like you said, we've got more. Last year, I think the only true Western author we had was Chris Mullen. I mean, we had some guys that wrote westerns, splatter, and splatter horror westerns. But I don't think we had anybody else that wrote like true western like Chris Mullen. But this year, I think we've probably got four or five that write western. So,
That's
uh,
great.
which kind of leads me to the book that I'm coming out later in the year. I'm putting together a western horror anthology, and
Ooh,
so I've actually got Chris Mullen writing a story for that. So, he's a Western writer. So I asked him to mix some horror in with his Western, and he's going to submit a story from my Tumblebleed anthology later in the year.
Ooh, I
So
love that title.
thank you.
That's a great title.
That's
That's
interesting.
yeah. Uh, so let's get into some little fun questions. I know we last year when we did the interviews, we did the fun icebreakers at the beginning, but I think we'll do these towards the end now. So if you had to pick, oh, Fack is scratching his chin there, bud. um, would you rather go up against a fast zombie or a slow zombie?
Ooh. Uh, I guess it's got, I'm not super fast myself, so I guess I'll take the slow ones,
Yeah.
Uh, and I, unless there's a lot less of the fast ones, then that kind of changes up the whole scenario. Like if there's only one or two fast ones, but there's like, 100 of the slow ones, that may change my mind a little bit. But if there's an equal amount of them, then give me the slow ones every day. Even though in real life, those zombies are the slow ones. Because I see the like World War Z, and and then what was the other one? The Woody Harrelson Zombieland, where they're super fast. I'm like, there's no way they can be that quick.
Yeah.
In life, I think the zombies look more like the Night of the Living Dead zombies. So, but anyways, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. And now what's your favorite cryptid? Everybody's got a favorite cryptid.
Boy, uh, that's a tough one. You got the skinwalkers, I think the Mothman is pretty freaking cool. Um, it might be Mothman. There's just something about that visual of him flying around with those big huge bat wings and those bright red eyes, and
Hmm.
just kind of flying around the West Virginia and the Smoky Mountains and all that stuff. And uh yeah, I would say probably Mothman.
Okay, cool. Mothman's pretty cool. Now,
Who do you?
who's my favorite cryptid?
Yeah,
My favorite cryptid is a cryptid that nobody talks about.
yeah.
It's called the Wolpinger. I can't even say it correctly. It's like a German cryptid. It's like a
Okay.
squirrel, bird, monkey mix type
Uh,
thing. And
okay.
I think it's pretty cool because nobody talks about it. So I think it's kind of like a little secret cryptid that nobody, cares to talk
Uh,
about. I've never seen any like fiction written about it, um, which I'm hoping to fix that myself.
yeah,
And it's funny because I actually, when I went to the very first Scares That Care author con, we went to, before the con started, a couple of us went to Ripley's Believe It or Not, that was right there. And they
yeah.
actually had like a stuffed whooping, I can never say it.
Whatever it
Uh,
is.
yeah, but it was pretty cool. And so, yeah, that's my favorite cryptid.
Uh, so I did come across one, actually gonna write a short story about him next year. So I don't really want to say what his name is because I don't want somebody to steal the idea from me. But this creature is actually half. What was he? Um, I think he's half bear and half gorilla.
Ooh,
So yeah. So I think he's in the Kansas area. So I came across him. So I don't want to give his name because I don't want people to.
yeah,
But I'm going to be doing a story about him next year. So that's kind of a cool mix. So
yeah,
yeah, like that's a pretty neat creature. I never heard of that one.
yeah.
So where Germany, or he's just got a German name?
It originated over in Germany.
Okay.
And I think that's where they're supposed to be. I don't think there's any supposedly in the United States. It's all over in Europe. Um, so
Wow.
yeah.
Interesting. Uh,
So now this is a question that I've decided is my favorite question to ask authors. Um, if you could star in a movie based on one of your books or stories, which one and what character would you be?
hmm. Boy, that's a tough one. Um, because I've got my zombie series. Um, I would guess I would probably say my zombie series, Wicked Awake. So I got my main character in that book is Jake Hathaway, and so at the beginning of the series, he's just become infected, and he's part he's infected, so he's part zombie. But as the series goes along, but at the beginning he was still more human than zombie. He was probably about 75% human and about 25% zombie. So as the series has been progressing, he's becoming less and less human and more zombie. So I'm working on book 6 now. That'll be book 5 now, which is the finale. That'll come out in June, right before the event. And I don't want to say how it ends, but
Yeah,
uh,
don't.
I would probably choose to be him. A lot of the qualities that I wrote into him kind of coincide with some of the stuff that I've done. So I kind of feel like I'm part zombie anyway. So I think that's the perfect.
Dude, me too. Not no amount of coffee could fix the way I feel as a zombie.
Right?
Uh,
Days you're like, wow, I don't even know if I want to get out of this bed.
I know, yeah, yeah, exactly. And then you're just like, oh, I'm so tired, just want to do nothing. Which is
Uh,
funny because when I go to cons, like my energy level goes through the roof, and I'm just like, bing, 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 everywhere.
yeah,
You
because
know.
you're running on adrenaline.
Yeah, my best friend's like, "Don't you want to like go to sleep?" And I'm like, "Oh no, no, no! It's like 3 o'clock. I'm gonna go downstairs at 3 in the morning. I'm gonna go downstairs and sit outside and have a drink."
I don't want to miss anything. Something
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yep, exactly. So it's been great having you on. So why don't you tell folks the details about the event, dates, and you
Mhm.
already mentioned the location, but if you just want to mention that again.
Okay. Yeah. So July 26th and 27th this year. And like I said, we call it Dallas, Texas. It's really Richardson, Texas, but it's at the Hilton, and it's called the Richardson. It's called the Hilton Richardson Dallas. It's at 701 East Campbell. But Friday we're going to be open from 1 p to 9 p. Saturday from 10 a to 7 p. So it's a free event. You can get your tickets at eventbrite.com. And with those tickets, you get some merch, and then you get eligible for the door prizes and all that. I mean, not to say that we're going to turn you away at the door if you haven't gotten those tickets, but it kind of helps us also plan and figure out how many people are going to show up, so we know how
Yeah,
much merch stuff to have. So it's helpful to us, but we're going to give people that little extra incentive by giving them the chance to spin the prize wheel if they get their free tickets online. So um, but yeah, between the panels and the workshops, we've got 86 tables, and a lot of those tables are shared. So we're going to have close to 100 authors out there. The picture that you showed has all the names on there. We have a Facebook group, and so that list is on there as well as some of the details. If you have any questions, so we've sold all the tables out because I'm still getting authors that are asking how they can get a table. So I do have a waiting list. If anybody wants to get on that waiting list, just email me at at gmail.com. And as far as they're already asking about next year's event, so just
wow.
there's yeah, so just jump on our Facebook group or page, and we will keep you updated there as to when we start planning the next one. But let's get through this year is first before.
This year's first, and then try to think
Yeah,
about next year.
yeah. But
Great,
that's
awesome.
about it, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, in the description of the video, we will have a link to the Eventbrite so you can get your free tickets. We'll have a link to the Facebook page, and I'm pretty sure we could get a link to the TikTok because the TikTok is really great. Um, Michelle Bergen's doing a great job with that, so you'll want to check it out. She's posting videos of um, all the authors who want to participate. Not everybody wants to participate in that, but
Yeah,
whoever sends her stuff to get a video made.
yeah.
So
We're on
yeah,
Inst- we're also on I'm sorry, we're also on Instagram, and I'm taking the same videos that she posts on TikTok and putting them on Instagram because
okay.
like complete social media moron. So, but I'm putting her stuff on there. But yeah, so we're on Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok.
Okay. And you said the email, is it TX AuthorCon or Texas spelled out?
All spelled out. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
with no
So
gaps in between. TEXASAUTHORCON at gmail.com.
awesome. Yeah. So send Merrill an email if you're an author and you want to either get on this year's wait list or to get a head start and, put your name out there for next year's.
Yeah. Oh, and one last thing, if I can mention it. So we're still looking for. So I don't. I'm also getting a lot of requests from businesses and publishers and who would like to advertise or sponsor us. And so I have made this event intentionally to where I do have some sponsors, but I don't give them a table at the event because I've seen events where you walk in, it's a free event, you walk in the door and you're getting hounded right off the bat by people who
Mhm.
want to sell you windows and storm shelters and all that stuff. So I don't have any, I don't have anybody, any vendors at this event that are going to be flagging you down trying to sell you stuff. And I intentionally do it that way. I want this event to be fun. It's not meant to hassle. I've turned down a bunch of money from people who wanted to be there to do that very thing, to do their sales pitch on our people. And I said, no, I'm not interested. This isn't about me making money. This is about us. This is about the authors and the readers. But anyways, I do have some sponsors. What we do for them is like our big one is Galactic Glass. So they have two big huge banners that I do put out at the entrance, and so people do get to see that, and we'll leave some of their brochures on a table there. They won't be there. Their stuff will, in case anybody's interested. Or actually no. Last year we just had it to where they had the QR code on their banner. So if people
Okay.
were interested, just go over to the QR code. So they didn't even have any brochures out. So if anybody's interested in doing something like that, or I've got a couple sponsors who we put their name on our T-shirts and on our brochure. So everybody
Yeah.
will get a free.
I'm wearing my t-shirt from last year.
Yeah, yeah. And so back of last year's, I'm not wearing mine, but on the back of last year's, we had the sponsors on
Yep.
there. So
Yep.
and I know Fast. What's Joe's company's name?
Fast
Fast
custom shirts.
Shirts. He's our sponsor, but he's also our T-shirt guy. He sold a ton of T-shirts last year, and so everybody who bought the T-shirt, our sponsors are on the back there. So I know those advertising dollars are getting some good use. So, anyways, we'll do that. We can put your name on our brochures and on the T-shirts and on our socials too. I've been putting them on socials, but we just won't be able to put you in the event. And that's, like I said, that's just because I'm trying to keep this thing fun and all that stuff. So maybe
And
that's just me.
book centered. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, should people email you at that email address if they're interested in volunteering?
They can, or if they go to our I think I'll probably just have it on Facebook because
Okay.
there I can put a link on where people can jump on the Google Doc and they can actually put their name and the date and the time and all that. So, but they can email as well.
Okay.
Either
Cool.
or. But yeah, but please don't be. Luckily, I don't know their names because I would throw them under the bus right now if I had their names. I had like 2 or 3 who signed up last year to volunteer and come showtime or come that weekend. Guess what? Where the hell are they? They blew it
Yeah.
completely off. So that I'm still. Can you tell I'm a little bit pissed about that? But
Yeah.
I had 3 or 4 volunteers who signed up, showed up, and they were awesome. And I know they're gonna be back again this year. That's what we're looking for. Come and have a great time, and you'll be helping us, but you'll also be having a blast as well. So that's what we're looking for. Please don't sign up and then blow me off because I'll track them down. Next year
He'll
I'm going to track.
he'll put you in one of his books and it won't
Oh,
be a happy ending.
that not be a happy ending. You're exactly right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Meryl. It has been awesome talking to you again, and we'll
Looking
see
forward to
you
seeing.
in July.
Yes, awesome. Thanks, Donna.